What's up, guys? It's Zach, aka OBS Andy, because I don't know how to record anything without OBS. We got a file to look at today that I found online. It's called Pedotroll. Sure hope my FBI agent takes a look through this so he doesn't send the SWAT team over and think I have something nefarious. But if you don't know what this is, our favorite YouTuber, Mr. Ethan Klein, had a 15-year-old Reddit account resurface, and I found a compilation of everything that he posted on there. So we're just gonna go through it. I don't really have context for much of this, but I'm just gonna read it for anybody who wants to see the posts. Now, Ethan Klein is 40 years old, and this account is from about 15 years ago. I believe the last post is from 15 years ago. So he would have been about 25 when he was posting on this account. The stuff on the account's pretty bad. I mean, they're just really, really edgy jokes. But he was kind of saying stuff like this all the time back in the day, so I don't really see like why people are that upset about it. I mean, I get it. Like, I get why people are upset. But at the same time, we know he's been like this, so I don't really see the sudden need to call it out. I mean, I'm sure Hassan sees this as a big win. I'm sure Destiny sees this as a big win, especially when both of them are dealing with their own little sex pest scandals right now. What Hassan did was pretty bad, but I mean, we can all agree that out of everybody, I think Destiny's looking the worst in this, because apparently he was keeping porn of a 17-year-old girl. But enough said, we're just gonna go ahead and start reading these. Had to go to work real quick, but let's just go ahead and jump right into the messages. We're literally just gonna go one by one, just take a look at them. So somebody says that has nothing to do with this particular situation. It's a whole different discussion entirely. Mr. Pedotroll, remember that's Ethan Klein, says, "Bro, you are wrong, and I will shit in a box, fill it with packing peanuts, ship it to your house, and you will be like, oh look, I got a package. What's inside? It will be my shit, and you will fucking touch it because of the packing peanuts. I will make you touch my shit." And as you can see, he got downvoted for that. Okay. Alright, right here, we have r/fu, trying to do a good deed, true story. Pedotroll replies to Stalin's last stand 15 years ago. I think this is true, actually. If my neighbors think I'm a pedophile, why shouldn't I molest their children? It's not that I'm a pedophile, but I think it's wrong to judge people, so what's the difference? Alright, so the username checks out pretty well there, Mr. Pedotroll. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Alright, this is a situation we live in, r/Israel. This is accurate, he says. Europe, we have the monkeys evolving into men, and in Israel, we have men walking among monkeys. Too many walking straight up in the lowercase picture. Okay. So I'm assuming here that he means Palestinians? I don't know, it's 15 years ago, so I can't say for sure. Alright, source, someone who is not a very good Jew. I find it hilarious that every Jew I meet describes themselves as a crappy Jew. Is this tradition or something? Pedotroll responds, no, it is because being seen as proud or happy Jew in liberal circles or here on Reddit will have people likening you to Nazis in no time. And somebody responds saying, good thing you went with Pedotroll instead. That's much stealthier. They're clocking him. We have Bob Mandevos, this Pedotroll's Twitter account, adding the White House. Mr. President, would you send Michelle, Sasha, Malia through TSA screening? Naked photos or invasive genital groping? You choose. At CNN, Mr. President, would you send Michelle? Okay, it's just, alright, cool, word. Pedotroll responds saying, when you become an uncle, avoid the sexual tension that is inevitable between you and your nephew. It'll be very exciting and enticing, but in the end, the stress that will result from this relationship will not be worth it. It is always best to get involved with children outside the family, with friends, coworkers, etc. Why does this have 7 upvotes? Why does this have so many upvotes? U/Pedotroll, Israel to allow building cargo to enter Gaza. Alright, that doesn't really give me much. Once I was at the park with my grandmama and we were walking over a little river with a stone walkway. Well, she was feeling chipper this day because she decided that she wanted to leap over one of the stones. Well, she slipped much like this guy, except her body was too frail to handle the fall. She broke her hip and her head just sat in the water because she couldn't sit up. I run to pick her up, but it was too late. She drowned. Sometimes now I take my kids to the same park and something comes over me. I force their head into the water to recreate the scene with my grandma, and I hold their faces until they almost drown and then take them out. Part of me feels that I'm trying to relive that memory and save her, and I'm afraid that one day I will drown my children too. Thanks for the gift. Okay, that's -5 downvotes. Okay, cool. I want to remind everybody, I'm not coping and I'm not trying to run cover for him, but this was before he has his kids. This was like 10 years before he had his kids, I believe. All right, we got another one just posting on his account. It looks like he just shares a lot of things that make Israel look good, which okay, college time, bro. You forgot an E as in I got E. coli from ingesting my own feces. No more lies. Funny stuff, bro. Reminds me of the time I shit on the floor and rubbed it on my face. Thank you, Ethan. They don't show the subreddit here, and we see NSFW dream job. Too bad it's wasted on a gay man. Don't know what he's referring to there. All right, we got another one here that I'm gonna have to zoom in to read. Honestly, I think it's beautiful that they have such an intimate relationship. The mother's therapy doesn't have to be sexual at all. You people are the sixth ones for making that connection. I hope that I can have such an intimate and open relationship with my children. This is so weird, man. Almost had me with the bizarre rationality of this until I checked your name. Had to delete what I was writing. Exactly. It's non-sexual. And still a fuck it. Your children or just any children? I see your username. I'm sorry, but the it's not sexual defense goes out the window as soon as he just— What the fuck is this in reference to? Oh my god. Oh, I can't say that. Alright, r/20. Suck it, you fucking show off. That Spanish word for black child sure is elastic. Reminds me of when I stand in front of the mirror and twist my hips so my dick dances around in circles. He usually stops like he did too when it hits my 2-year-old in the face. Lol. He usually just stands under me asking what I'm doing. I just tell him daddy is dancing. LOL. Posted an r/funny as well. Great gif, really funny. I have a strange memory when I was a kid, maybe about 8. I was walking around the house naked and our family dog started sniffing my dick. Well, I thought it'd be funny to put peanut butter all over. Oh my god! I'm not reading that. Y'all can read. I'm not reading that. Oh my god! I'm not reading that. Y'all can read this. I'll leave it on screen for a second. I'm not fucking reading that. Holy shit. Oh, wow. All right, Childish Balloon Games. r/fu. Great comic, buddy. Reminds me of the time I shit my pants at school and walked around all day in my own feces. My friend doesn't think anyone will see this. Let's embarrass him. Lol, great video. Reminds me of the time I accidentally pooped in the bathtub while I was bathing. Great job. He's got a little scat thing going on. This is the best way to do heavy squats. Hey, thanks for posting this. Reminds me of the time I was doing squats while my son was playing with Legos behind me. Well, I wasn't wearing any underwear, but I squirted shit all over his face. Lol. He was too young to remember now, but whenever I watch him on the toilet, I always lol at that memory. Dude, I don't even want to keep reading this stuff. Holy shit. Alright, right here we have a review of Israel. Shitty customer service, people are always trying to swindle you, businesses. Everything is so expensive, no bike lanes anywhere. Poor government funding for social programs because so much money goes to paying fucking Orthodox to do nothing and just study the Torah. It's got a bad reputation, it's too small, too hot with no rain or snow. That said, there are a lot of great things about Israel, and considering it's only 62 years old, it's not doing bad for itself. Now, the one, let me pause for a second. On the ones like this, where there's like, I just kind of have to take their word that it's his, but I will add like a little skepticism here because there's not anything that says you/pedotroll. There's nothing that links it to Ethan technically. I don't doubt that it is his, but these ones that don't have his name, they are alleged. What if everyone praise an artist when they refuse to play a show in Israel, but then they line up to purchase tickets when they play in the US? Isn't the US, by all standards, guilty of way more war crimes and overall brutality against the world? Which way do you wipe from? I wipe from the front also. My man, he really likes to talk about shit. And it's up to you. Once I realized you F-slurs cannot downvote, it became clear that r/bravery jerk was the perfect place to post my shitty OC. Bravery is just a thing of the past, and now I just submit with impunity. Ron Paul. And we know he said the F-slur in the past. I don't care. I'm a queer man. I don't really give a shit. Israel is discriminating against Palestinians living in occupied territories by depriving them of water, electricity, and roads. Human Rights Watch. Pedotroll responds, well, I don't know anyone who was a slave, but friends of my grandparents were able to compare their personal experience of the labor camps with Gaza. What? Palestinians are not treated as subhumans? Why don't you come to Israel instead of repeating talking points that honestly you really seem to know nothing about? There are reasons for what the Israelis do that are more complex than what you may see as genocide or hate. Come to Israel, talk to an Israeli. You have no first-hand experience and no knowledge, talking points. Come to Israel and talk to a Palestinian for that matter. Palestinians living in Israel are not shot and killed in the street, they are not harassed, abused, etc. They are integrated into society on almost every level. I live in Tel Aviv, I live in an Arab neighborhood, all of the shops in my neighborhood are owned by Palestinians. I work with and live next to Arabs, Palestinians, I have Palestinian friends, there are laws that discriminate against them, yes, and I do not like that, and I want it to stop, but try and see the reason for why Israel does it, and it may be the start of understanding that can actually solve the problem. You do nothing but spit hatred and ignorance, nothing you know or think can be used constructively to help the situation. Alright, so he also liked to roleplay as a Zionist on here. That's cool. Israel is discriminating against Palestinians living in the occupied territories by depriving them of water, electricity, and roads. Human Rights Watch. -6 points 14 years ago, Pedotroll says, when I read stories about how Gaza is a death camp and how it's being deprived of essentials and about ethnic cleansing, this statement comes to mind. He links a Wikipedia page, demographics of the Palestinian territories, life expectancy at birth. The average life expectancy of people born in Gaza is about 73 years. That doesn't sound like a Nazi Germany or apartheid South Africa to me. This fact alone speaks volumes. Am I correct in thinking this? If not, please explain. I always knew that YouTube was full of creeps, but this, what's the problem exactly? As a father, I've also watched this video so that I can better help my daughter prepare for school. Okay, thank you, dude. My 14-year-old niece in her new bathing suit. What the fuck? You know that I can see the thumbnail, right? Oh, okay. All right, cool. Okay, all right, thank God. All right, he posted Chris Hansen. Cool. Thank you, Pedo Troll. All right, Neo Destiny says, I appreciate the optimism. And the optimism is good, but it doesn't mean we can just ignore some of the glaring problems in my community. Can I read this? No, it's cut off. Hey, shitty crop. Thanks, dude. r/FU at work, first rage. Pedo Troll was... Okay. Pedo Troll responds and says, this reminds me of the time that I ate a duty and my boss was like, what? And I was like, yeah, try it. And he's like, what? And I'm like, no, seriously, try it. So I pooped in his mouth and he was like, lol, and gave me $100. I also had that happen too, believe it or not. All right, what the fuck is wrong with Sweden? Swedes are a bunch of hypocritical assholes who fancy themselves very liberal and progressive. They are a bunch of racist shitheads. Okay. I wonder if that's why you hated PewDiePie. FYI, Blizzard do indeed switch your NA and EU accounts if you request. Pedo Troll responds, it worked for me when I moved to Europe, but they made me buy the European version first and then reimburse my old purchase. Okay. What socially inappropriate thing are you frequently tempted to do? Touch little boys. Okay. I'm gonna get clipped so bad, man. I'm assuming they're saying that he's sharing this. We have Japanese bukkake prego puke porn on YouTube. Jesus Christ, 12 years ago? Was YouTube that bad 12 years ago? I feel like I never saw anything like this. I don't know if this is Ethan posting this. You can't see his username anywhere. Pink Floyd band member Roger Waters joins a campaign of boycott, divestment, and sanctions BDS against Israel. It must also be considered ludicrous because Palestinians are integrated at every level of Israeli politics and society. Do you know that there is an Arabic 5-star general in the Israel army, and Arabs who sit on the high courts of Israel? And that they have their own political party with equal vote? Yep, I'm sure South Africa would have allowed that, but it's far more ludicrous considering that Arabs in Israel enjoy more freedoms than those in all other surrounding countries. Ludicrous indeed. Go ahead and read about the Arab citizens of Israel. Links a Wikipedia page. Edit, I don't deny that there is some institutional racism, but comparing it to apartheid or Nazi Germany is hyperbolic garbage. This is why Israelis get so defensive about this topic. Ooh, poor them. This looks like the first screenshot from earlier. There was another post that didn't make much sense. I think this is to that. So I'll try and put this first. Repost, not 100% exactly the same due to the edit at the end, but it's really not different enough from the original post. Links to the original Reddit. Pedo Troll responds, dude, I can't believe you removed it. You obviously didn't watch the video. It's completely different. Did you watch it, the whole thing? And then he says, the mod, 90% repost, last 1 second was original, not interesting enough to make an exception to the repost rule. And then he says, also yet another shit video, and that goes into the next clip that I should be putting after this. Poetry, warm it up. Alright, somebody says, has a tiny dick and a big flare to make up for it. Cool. 90% repost, last 1 second was original, not interesting enough to make an exception to the repost rule. Also yet another shit video from the H3H3 Productions channel, which you seem to post here daily. It's either for karma or for YouTube hits, but I wanted to stop, please. So this seems to be like some sort of Reddit mod, and he got downvoted a ton, -20. Looks like people are actually on Mr. Pedo Troll's side this time. He responds saying, look, it's my channel. It's one of the only ways I can get original views. I didn't realize I was causing you problems, and I apologize for that, but this was the original content. If you want to watch it, not just the end, you'll see that. Sorry that you think my videos are shit, but I have had several of them exceed 100 points, and it has really helped to grow my channel. Obviously, some people in the subreddit like them, even if they go against your comedic sense. I will, however, promise to stop reposting. But I would ask you to reconsider your removing of this post, as I really believe it is original content. It looks like he got upvoted here as well. Alright, the world's greatest magician, Ethan responds saying, I wasn't very eloquent, but my wife and I were laughing while watching your sketch. It was funny and I didn't mean to insult you, I just thought the end ruined it. The humor for me came from it being so obviously bad, which is what you intended. The internet's a rough place and I get my feelings hurt every time I post a new video. I get all sad and emotional, I know that feeling. We need a thick skin though if we want to produce content for the internet. Get to enjoy the taste of shit and you can swing your dick wildly. Sorry bro for the bad feels. I look forward to your next sketch. Why did he add this? I appreciate that, dude. And it's true, we need tough skin. I'm just being a bitch. Yeah. Alright, what a fail, what a fumble by you/deleted. Pedo Troll, removed by Mod Auto. Great post. Reminds me of the time I was in my friend's pool using the jet to masturbate. It was funny because my friends were doing this on the other side of the pool and his little sister was just sitting there watching me. Kinda weird, but looking back, it makes me lol. Thursday, November 1st, 2012, Pacific Daylight Time, subreddit, author, Pedo Troll. As someone with Tourette's, I don't think this guy has Tourette's, or at least he has something else going on too. And as we know, Ethan does have Tourette's. Helen Thomas, I could call Obama anything about reprimand, but if I criticize Israel, I'm finished. True. That's not the point. It's their home now. Doesn't matter how they got there, okay? Psy Super BM casted by Psy. R/Starcraft. I BM every day, and by BM I mean bowel movement, and by bowel movement I mean I masturbate with my feces. Thanks, Ethan. Destiny is showing some amazing plays with the new patched Infester right now. Ethan responds saying, why are all of you crying about Imba already? Remember when Roach got +1 distance and everyone was crying Imba? Shut the fuck up and wait at least 1 week before you start QQing. I think this has to do with the video game. I know he posted a lot on StarCraft. I see Destiny here, but I don't know if Destiny was out at the time yet. And r/NSFW, tits don't get any better, NSFW. Ethan responds saying, tits don't get any faker. Couldn't find a graph of this, so I made one. Israeli and Palestinian civilization casualty since 1997. Ethan responds saying, now make one for the US and ask yourself, should Israel have the same death count as Palestinians? Does that make it better? Should they disregard their technology to make it more fair? If more Israelis died, would that be relevant? Today, 71% believe Iran has nukes. 9 years ago, 70% believed Iraq was behind 9/11. Somebody says the current America needs an enemy, needs to have their lives threatened and face impending death. This makes the raping of their economy by the elite, the puppeteering of their government through corporatism, and their ridiculous police state viable. In a separate comment, Ethan adds, no one screams anti-Semite when we read stories like this. I fucking hate this stereotype. Once you enter a conversation with someone and the tent shifts from this is what Israel did and why we don't support them to the Jews did this and the Jews did that, then you start to feel a bit discriminated against. So yeah, there is a line and a lot of people cross it. Alright, looks like we're getting to the end. r/videos, WTF, blatant racism against Africans in Israel is unbearable. State of Israel, African refugees. Ethan responds saying, this is one group of hooligans harassing people, not representative of all of the normal people in Tel Aviv. The comments in this thread are as disgusting as anything in this video. He really goes to defend Israel a lot in these posts. Cheating in a relationship. How did you catch them? How did you get caught? Man, that sucks. As long as you can live in the relationship happily, then it's all good. My parents have a crazy history of cheating on each other when they were younger, but they worked through it and they've been married for like 35 years now. But it's tough. When she says things to you like, I have a work crush on this guy, fuck that. That is not a reasonable thing to say to your SO and just shows some serious underlining immaturity, IMO. But obviously I don't know her, but fuck that shit, man. Fuck that shit. Okay, I mean, that's just a normal post, I agree. Stephen King on religion. He looks like retarded Jim Carrey. Alright, r/StarCraft. Ethan responds to Neo Destiny. I used to love StarCraft 2. I used to play it for hours every day after work and sit around the computer every weekend to watch whatever tournament was on. I also loved Brood War and Warcraft 3. Warcraft with all of the stats and weekly tournaments was a thing of beauty. Not to mention the custom scene, which frankly is what I spent 90% of my time on. I was absolutely amazed when StarCraft 2 came out that Battle.net 2.0 was actually worse than Warcraft 3. Battle.net... I was reminded of this every few times when I would check the custom scene for a new interesting map, only to find the same shitty stale maps dominating the scene. Then my friend gave me an invite to Dota 2. Wow, this game's interface is fucking amazing. Just spending an hour there, I could feel the quality and innovation. Quality just seeps through the pores of Dota 2, and I know that this game is going to be great. I had a revelation that felt like this. This is the future of gaming. This is what it feels like. StarCraft 2 is a reactionary game. Not only does it add nothing new to the scene, it actually takes many strides backwards. I used to love StarCraft 2, but I can see that Blizzard just doesn't give a fuck about it. On Inside the Game, they talk about StarCraft like no one will leave it for MOBA. As someone who loves StarCraft 2, I personally can say that I left StarCraft 2 for Dota 2. It's a better game despite genre, it's a game that developers care about, and finally it bears the name of Valve, a company which still commands my respect. And as StarCraft 2 suffers a slow and inevitable death, I will watch quietly from the sidelines, taking sadistic pleasure in its demise, because fuck Blizzard, and fuck the Blizzard apologists who refuse to acknowledge the fatal shortcomings that will surely destroy this community. StarCraft 2 had the potential to be so much more, and it's a goddamn shame. See you on Dota. Okay, agreed, fuck Blizzard. I'm an Overwatch player, that's like all I play, and still fuck Blizzard. That company sucks. Fuck what they did to Overwatch. I hate Israel, and I'm a normal dude with a family in Canada. I would love to see Israel as a post-nuclear strike smoldering glass hole in the ground. I honestly think it would make the world more peaceful in the long run. There are good people in Israel, says Ethan. A lot of them. I live in Israel. This isn't funny. The other user responds saying, I agree. I don't think any nation on earth deserves to be nuked, and there are good people in Israel. It wasn't funny until you made the post with that username. Pedo troll. Okay, is that it? That's it. That's all I got. Let's see. I don't think there's anything else in here. So I actually don't really use Twitter all that much, but I have this right here. We have Destiny Stephen Bonnell II tweeting, if he has nothing to hide, can someone ask him why he deleted every single post on the account? Now, I think Destiny is the last guy who needs to be talking about this. I know he's trying to take flack off of himself, but he's definitely not the person to be speaking on this right now. So let's go ahead and take a look at what Ethan says. He says, my friends, I have a terrible confession to make. Yes, it is true. My 15-year-old Reddit account was identified by using a doxing website that lists a history of all emails and passwords that have been leaked in illegal data breaches. A post last night was made on the Snark subreddit by a person who obtained this information with Reddit's help. This person was able to disseminate this illegally and maliciously obtained information to a community whose sole purpose is to harass me, my family, and my employees. 1. Yes, my account username PedoTroll made a few bizarre and edgy attempts at being funny. It was common on Reddit 15 years ago to create a thematically named troll account to post silly things from. The method was to have Redditors read something crazy and then check the username and realize it was a goof. You can see the evidence of this on most of the posts being made in character. These troll stories include anecdotes that clearly never happened, including a story that references my children who were born 10 years later. Further evidence of this is simply that I was self-promoting my YouTube channel while doing these parody posts. I knew I was personally identifiable the entire time. I was trying to be funny so people would look at my account and discover my YouTube channel. I was not ashamed of it then, and I'm not ashamed of it now. Embarrassed? Yes, on par with cringing at my old YouTube videos. 2. Yes, there are a few posts of me being a Zionist Jewish supremacist, which includes me mostly arguing with someone calling Israel Nazi Germany. In totality, about 95% of the posts were about StarCraft 2 or self-promoting my YouTube channel. I have nothing to hide and nothing to apologize for, and remember folks, joking about pedophilia is not the same as having it on your computer. Now of course at the end there, he's referencing Destiny, Stephen Bonnell II. And he's right, there's no law enforcement agency who would ever ask you to keep child porn on your computer for a legal case. There's just no way that would happen. You may or not know that Willie Mack Show had to report Destiny to the police because he had revealed that to him. Now, do I honestly think Ethan Klein is a pedophile? Nah. I mean, we know that he's an edgy guy. We know that in the past he liked to make edgy jokes. And you could say that these are beyond edgy. You could say these are disgusting. I would agree that a lot of these are really gross. But I'm not going to think Ethan's a pedophile because he made a bunch of jokes on a very obvious troll account. Now, I know I might get a little bit of backlash for that. People might think that I'm covering for Ethan, that I'm sweeping for him. But honestly, I mean, I just don't care what somebody did 15 years ago. We have people like iDubbbz and Hassan Piker who also have skeletons in their closet. That doesn't make what Ethan did any better, but these same people are calling him out, while iDubbbz even more recently was posting things about Black Lives Matter and how they actually don't. Obviously a joke. I don't think Ian's an actual racist. But if Ian can be accepted by the community that is attacking Ethan right now in just a couple years when he's supposedly learned empathy, I think Ethan can change in a 15-year period from when he was making shitty jokes on a Reddit account. But that's all I really got for you today. Most of the posts were about StarCraft. I figured I would save you all the time and not read those. I'm not covering for Ethan. If there's anything I missed, it wasn't in that folder that I had full of the screenshots. That's really about it. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.